Hi there, my name is Toby, and on this channel I talk about energy in all different ways. And today I want to talk about money. And people do say that money is energy, and they're sort of right, but it's only energy because we give it energy, we believe in it. And the question is, people say that money is the root of all evil. Is that true? Is money evil? Well, I would say yes and no. No, because true money is not, and I have to explain to you what true money is, because nobody knows what money actually is. But the thing is, if you take that statement, money is the root of all evil, and you change out the word money for the word banking, well now yes, it's true. So it's not so much money itself, it's the game around the money. It's the system around the money that is evil. And I'm going to explain it to you today. You see, what is true money? True money is simply a medium of exchange. That's all it is. Before that, you just got bartering. But you just need another thing in the middle that allows you to barter with everyone. So you need something like money. But money is just the medium of exchanging real things. That's all it is. It has no power of its own. It's just an interchange of other real things. That's okay. Now, the best money we've got is gold. Because this medium of exchange must in order for it to work, it has to have its own intrinsic value. Because, you know, if you say, I want to swap something of value, I've got my house, but I don't know what I want it for. I really have to have something in my hands of equal value. It's got to have intrinsic value. Otherwise, I won't swap it. So gold, if you think about it, gold is actually an asset. It's still an asset, but it's a universal asset. So it's not really quite money. So gold is an asset. It's universal. Everyone will accept it. So it can be used as money. You can think of it, and there's another term in money called fungible. Fungible means everything is the same. So you can think of gold as a fungible asset. You can make gold coins and they're all the same and they're all worth exactly the same. They're fungible. So gold can be used as a medium of exchange. But where's the problem? The problem comes when you create interest. And I have to explain that to you how that works. But for now, gold is okay if there was no interest. Interest is a game. Now again, you've got to argue, well, now you've got gold, you want to be able to lend gold, lend money. So that's now where it's getting interesting. How do you lend money? Because then you still want to make some profit, so you need interest. So okay, you can organise a fair interest for you if you want to lend money to someone, you agree it between each other. But the way the banks do it is not like that. The way the banks do it is very unfair, and I'm working up to that. But the idea, again, why it seems already unfair is because once you lend money, you become a bank. So you're now a money lender. You collect gold, and all you have to do is lend out this gold in the promise of getting more gold. So you're doing a job now that involves no work. You're not doing any work. You're simply sitting back and profiting off everyone else's work. So it's an interesting job. Okay, there's some ethics involved there. And the other problem with gold is because it has intrinsic value, you can get greedy. You want more gold because gold means power. So gold means power. You can buy more things, have more things, whatever you like. You see, if you go back to bartering, it's direct. You can't have what you like. For example, if I want a house, the only way I can get a house is find someone who builds houses. Then I've got to talk to him and say, well, what have I got that I could do for you that you'd build me a house? Well, what do you do? I'm an artist. I'll paint you some art. I don't want any art. So you can't do business. So it's tricky. But that was the fairest thing because it's between two people who are just making your own agreement. So you'll have to arrange to do some work for them. You say, look, if you do the work for me to build my house, I'll do some work for you. I'll do your garden. I'll build you a farm. I'll grow your farm for you. How's that? So it's a bit more work, but that's completely fair now. There's no money in the middle. There's no room for corruption. Do you see? So there's a flip side to having this medium of exchange, something of intrinsic value, and that is greed. Because it allows you to have more stuff without actually having to do the work to get the stuff. So again, this is still philosophical. You go back to Sumeria, ancient Sumeria, we've got records of that. In those days, the power system was all the same. We had the royal family, we had the temple, the priests, then we had the bank, then we had the law. All was the same thing. It's all in the one palace. The ruling family was unified. It was all the same. So that's the way they did it. So the people, the masses, had to bring all their assets to the temple. Bring your money, your gold, your silver, your jewellery. You deposit there for safety, and they'll give you little clay tablets to play with. That's your money. Then off you go, interchange these clay tablets. But there's a deal, of course, made with the temple. So they've already got interest going on. In simple terms, you can think of it like a casino. So essentially the bank or the temple has become a casino. You deposit your assets there and they give you little poker chips. And now in the casino forum, you can use these poker chips and you go off into the casino. Yeah, I'm going to make some more money. You think you've got a chance to make more money, so you engage in it. And you play in the casino. But everyone knows the house always wins. The bank always wins. Most people in the casino always lose. You get one winner. 1 in a million winner. But everyone loses. So you get one winner to a million losers. That's the system. So that's essentially what we've got now. The financial system is essentially a casino. So for every winner, you get a million losers. It has to. That's the way the casino works. And the house always wins. So it started way back, and I've still got to go into more details about this. There's a lot more detail I'm going to go into and explain it. But let's just look at the power structure, because this is important to understand. So in the old days, this was all unified. The royal family, the temple, the spirituality was focused there. These were divine beings. Then you had the bank, yeah, we'll look after your money. And you had the law, yeah, we'll make judgment upon you. But you bring your offerings to us. It was all power. Now, do you think over time that power structure was, destroyed? The people occasionally would rise up and fight back against this power structure. And now we think, well, it's gone now. Really, again, think about it. The power these people had was colossal. Do you really think they would ever, and I mean ever, give up that power? They never gave it up. They pass it down through their bloodlines. Of course they do. We can see it. Generations of the royal family pass it down. Do you really think they ever gave up this power? No. They only had the illusion of giving it up. They found another way. You see, like I said, in the old days, it was all unified. Royal family, the temple, the bank, the law, one thing, in the palace. Now it's all separate. We got the royal family. We got the church, the bank, the religion. Then we got the bank. And then we got the law. And we also got the politics. All separate. Are they really separate? They all work together. They still all work together. How do we know they work together? They are unified. How are they unified? What unifies them? They're all unified through money. It's still the bank. Money is the secret. Money was used back then to control the people, and money is used right now to control the people. Look at it this way. In the olden days, there was slavery. We all knew we were slaves, tied up and whipped. Do you really think they'd get rid of slavery? It's too good. No way they'd get rid of slavery. But they're improving it. In fact, slavery has got better. What could be better than having a slave? Well, having a willing slave. A slave that willingly gives themselves to you. Willingly works for you. That's better. A slave that does not realize they are a slave. That's better. And that's the way the system works. Now we are not chained up so much. We are willing slaves engaging in the system. But who is our slave master? Our slave master is money. That is actually the whip and the chain. It's the carrot and the stick are going to be rich. No, you're not. You've got to pay your tax. So money is now the slave driver, but we willingly engage in it. We enter the casino willingly. Why do we enter willingly? It's still sort of greed and corruption. Yeah, I might win some more money. So the way they get us to engage in the system is they make us willing slaves. They corrupt us. We become greedy too. We've created this casino. We're rich. Look how rich we are. Oh, I wish I was as rich as you. Yeah, you can be as rich as us. All you have to do, go and join the casino. You could win $1 million. Oh, okay. We could be as rich as us. Look how rich we are. We got servants. You too could have servants. Could I have servants? Yeah. Play in the casino. I still haven't explained how it works. I'm coming to that. I'm going to go into detail. Bear with me. It's important you understand what is happening to your soul. This is how the energy works. You engage in the system because it's corrupting your soul. That's the evil. But it's not the money, it's the system. That's the difference. We've got to separate ourselves from the system. Let me keep going. So, and again, looking at slaves, we want slaves. Think about it. What's better than a whipped slave? A willing slave. What is a willing slave? It's like a robot. It's actually a robot. But we want robots. Why do we all want robots? We want slaves. We want slaves that won't ask for anything. So now we all want it. Oh, I can't wait to have my robot do my work for me. So now you all become slave masters. You've got your willing robot slave. So we've all engaged with the system. That corruption has filtered down. At the top, they want slaves. They make us all slaves. They tell us, we're rich. Look how rich we are. You too could be rich. Oh, yeah. You too could have slaves. Yeah, we want slaves. Here's the robots for you. You can have robot slaves. You'll be our slaves, but you can have robot slaves. Oh, dear. It's all corruption. It's slavery gone underground. And again, it's a classic one. Politics and religion are supposedly separated. Some religions and politics have never separated. They're still one and the same thing. Politics and religion are totally unified. Be careful. I'm not going to say any names. I'm not going to get political. But it's still all a power structure. Why do you need religion? Religion is the same thing as they had in the beginning. The ruling elite were deities. They were powerful beings. You must believe in us. You need that religion. Religion gives a belief in a hierarchy, a power structure. Your soul engages in a hierarchy. I'm going to talk more about this. But you need that idea of hierarchy. And wealth, the way wealth is, creates a hierarchy. We believe in it. You see, it's engaging every aspect of our soul into a system of hierarchy. Look at it. Royal family, hierarchy. The bank is hierarchy based on wealth. Legal system, hierarchy based on different arbitrary levels. Politics, hierarchy. Hierarchy based on power. Power given to you by the people, supposedly. But it's the same other, you've got, total communism. So that's obvious direct hierarchy. But it's all still a hierarchy. And of course, religion, hierarchy, priests, bishops, or whatever religion you've got. Hierarchy. Why do you need a hierarchy? You need a hierarchy because that is a power structure. But why do you need a power structure? Because somebody at the top wants power. It's the only reason you'll ever want a power structure is someone at the top wants power. So, you don't need any of that. And I'm working on a system that would do this. It is a possibility. There is a possibility, a technology that we could have a better system. Don't need this. Okay, so how does it work today? Well, first of all, we've got gold as a fair medium of exchange. but it's not practical, it's heavy. So we can have pieces of paper instead of gold. But one piece of paper would be equal to one gold coin. So it still represents gold. And then the bank, of course, stores the gold and gives you the pieces of paper. So that was the early days of banking. That's what it used to be like. And that's still okay. We can sort of understand that. But now it's not like that. You see, first of all, the banks realized that they could lend out more pieces of paper than they had gold. In fact, it worked out they could lend out maybe up to 90% more paper money than they actually had gold, because not everyone came back for their gold together at once. So that's already starting to cheat. It's already cheating, it's playing a game. They're being greedy. They realize they can make more money by having even less gold. They don't even need gold to make money anymore. You see, first of all, the greed was just for the gold. Now the greed was for the paper. Do you see? The paper is the poker chips. Even the bankers themselves are engaging in the casino. They want more poker chips for themselves. Because everyone else is engaged in the casino. The casino is now self-sustaining. We're all in the casino. And there is really only one way out of the casino, and that's going back to individual business, face-to-face business again, which I'll come to that. But now it's got to another level. Now they realise they don't need any gold, just paper. So they don't need any physical assets to back up the pieces of paper that they can create. So now they can just make themselves more money. And there's more to that, I'm coming to that. But let's just talk about interest next. So now we're only dealing with paper. There's no assets. It's just random pieces of paper with no intrinsic value. And now it has no connection to any real asset, no connection to gold. It's just paper. But because we all believe it, we all use it, it works. And because we're all small-minded, we're all tied up in our own little financial struggles. You see, it's got to be a struggle. If it's not a struggle, it won't engage you. They have tied us up in financial struggles. Very important you understand this. That's the corruption. There need not be a struggle. But we all believe it. Oh yeah, it's hard work earning money. It's difficult these days. Oh yeah. You are the naive ones. No, you can't see through the game. You're being naive, not me. I can see through the game. I can see what the world should be like and could be like. So it's only paper now, nothing, no intrinsic value. But furthermore, they can create interest on this paper. And it's getting very dark now. So listen to this. It works like this. So say you go to the bank for a loan. I want to borrow some money. I need to borrow 100,000 so I can get a house. Okay, I'll come into this again in more detail, but simple level first. So the bank will they literally create the money, £100,000 or dollars. Here's the money for you to buy the house. But you must pay us back interest. So you need to pay us back 300,000. 300,000. Now, they create the 100,000 for you, so they give you that money, but they do not create the 200,000 interest that you must give them back. They haven't created that. You have to go off into the economy, earn 300,000, bring it back to the bank. Okay, that doesn't sound too bad, but let me explain it like this. Imagine there was no money in existence. No money yet. So you go to the bank and you say, can I have £100,000 to buy a house? But there's no money yet. So they create for you the very first £100,000 and give it to you. Okay, here's 100,000. Go and buy a house. But they say to you, you must pay us back 300,000. But there's only 100,000 in existence. Where's he going to get the other 200,000 from? So the bank, he said, well, okay, but how do I get the other 200,000? And they say, don't worry, you can earn it back off us. If you work for us, we'll pay you the other 200,000 so that you can pay us back the 300,000. Says, all right, yeah, all right. Now again, bear with me, it doesn't work quite like that, but that is a metaphor that you can understand it. See, how it really works is they will lend another 100,000 to someone else. So now the other person's got 100,000, but they owe the bank again 300,000, which they haven't created. So they've only created 200,000 in existence, but already they're owed another 400,000 they're owed in total back, which they haven't created. And then they create another 100,000 for someone else, and they owe them 300,000. So they've only created 300,000, but already they're owed 600,000, which they have not created. They've tied all these people into slavery. The only way they can get that money is working, and in fact they're working for the bank indirectly, because they're working for the bank so that the bank will create the money so that they can get the money from the economy to pay back the bank. Do you see? Do you see? It's a trap. And then you've got compound interest. And that's when interest builds upon interest. Now it goes exponential. Now it's gone mad. You've gone into dark slavery now. Financial struggle. Engaging your soul. Your soul is totally lost in financial struggle, so you can only see the small picture. You can't see the big picture of what's really going on. What are the games these people are playing with us? Now, there's a bit more to it, you see. Although they're not backing up these notes with gold, there is also a thing called credit. So credit is interesting. Credit is another way of creating money. You see, there's no money, but I can do some work. So I go to someone and I say, listen, I need some money to buy something. You've got some money, will you lend it to me? Give me the money, and I can go and buy the thing. So that will be called a loan. They lend you the money, and then you go and buy the thing. But now you have to pay back the loan, earn the money and pay it back to the lender. So that's a loan. Credit is when you go straight to the person. You say, look, I want the thing. Can I have your house? Have you got any money? No, I've got no money. Will you give me credit? I will work for you in the future to buy the house. So I'll work for you for 30 years to pay for the house. How's that? So that's credit. So they'll give you the house. Or I'll give you the house on credit. I trust you to do that work in the future. So now credit is getting dodgy. It requires trust. And because there's a thing called trust, now it requires law. We need some records of that. We need paperwork. We need proof. We need evidence. So now the legal system's got to get involved. So in theory, what they're doing now is creating money off the back of credit. Credit. But if you understand what credit is a promise of future work. That's all it is. Where do you get credit? Credit is I promise to work in the future to pay you. That's all it is. So credit is the promise of future labour. And that labour can only be done by living beings. It's a living being, a living soul promising to work in the future. So it means the banks are actually creating the money on the back of credit. But where do they get the credit from? The credit can only come from the people. But how can the banks get the credit from the people? That's tricky. Now, when you go, say, get a mortgage or a loan, you go there and you sign a document. You sign a mortgage agreement. That's credit. That's credit. And they create the money that you need for that mortgage based on the credit, your signature. So in fact, the money is being created by you, your signature. You are the creditor. You created the credit. But the bank says that they're giving you the credit. Yeah, if you were to ask the bank, where did you get the credit from? Who is the creditor of this loan? The bank won't answer you. Now don't do this. I mean, you really got to know what you're doing. I'm saying this is purely theoretical. But if you go to the mortgage company and you write to the mortgage company and say, please can you provide me evidence of the creditor of this loan? Who's the creditor? Because they're supposed to have to do that. They won't answer you because they'll have to say, well, the credit comes from you. You are the creditor. So if I'm the creditor, why am I paying it back? The credit comes from me. I created the money. Why am I paying you? So they're actually creating money from the back of credit. So for example, when you sign for a loan, you are signing credit. You are creating that credit. It comes from your signature. So in fact, you are the one that created that money in your signature. But then they're charging you for the privilege of that. And they're making you pay back the money that you created again with interest. So how does it work like that? Well, it works it's a bit more to it than that. Where did they get the credit from? Well, the credit actually comes from your birth certificate. It all starts when you're born. When you're born, there's a certificate of birth is created. So this is a legal thing now. This is how they create money. So from your birth certificate, you've got a lot of life ahead of you. There's a promise of a lot of work behind you. You're going to do a lot of work in your life. So there's a lot of credit when a new baby is born. But how can you monetize that? You have to play a dodgy game. So this is where all the systems work together. The political system, the legal system, and the financial system. So it all seems like, oh, the political system is doing it. We need that. They create a birth certificate. Yeah, we have to do that. It's for the records. Not records. It's literally a slave title. It's an ownership title. They own you. And then where does it go? Well, with this, they can use this to create credit. So they use this to create what they call a trust fund. So they create a trust from this document. They literally create a bond, a credit note. And this credit note is used in the financial system. They can buy and sell it. They can create money off the back of this credit note. It's a lot of credit there. You've got a whole life ahead of you. They make a judgment. How much do you think it's worth? Well, they literally do something like they take your weight in gold, or the value of gold. They take your weight in it and ascribe that value. A few other things they think about, where you were born, your parents, whatnot. They give you a value to your birth certificate. You don't know this. It's all done in secret. You have to research to find this stuff out. Remember, the system is not going to tell you what it's doing. It is corruption. Corruption means deception. They're going to deceive you. If you really don't believe that the powers in charge are deceiving you, you are naive. Of course they're deceiving you. What do you think PR is? What do you think advertising is? This is just advertising. It's deception. Anyway, they use this to create credit, and it's all done in the name of, it's done in your name, but they put their name in it as well, because the power structure, the political system creates this. But it's still connected to religion, it's still connected to the church and things. And they use it to create credit for the financial system, for the bank. So quite literally, all of us have got this trust fund based on our birth certificate, which is like a stockpile of credit. It's worth a lot of money, millions and millions of credit. And that's what they know this about you. So if you go to the bank for a mortgage, you sign the credit for it, that money is created, but it comes off the back of your trust fund. So they'll be able to know your trust fund is there, it's worth hundreds of millions. We can just take the money out of that trust fund to pay for this loan. So it comes out of your trust fund, it's paid for, done and dusted. Once you sign this, you essentially created the money, but they've taken the money, put it on their books from your trust fund. So you've already paid for it. It's paid for out of your stockpile of credit. But they don't tell you that, and therefore then they charge you again. You now have to pay for it again from your hard labour, plus interest. And it's worse than that. They'll have an insurance policy on it, such that if you don't pay, they'll get paid out anyway. So really what you're signing is not so much the payment for your house. You're signing a particular agreement with the bank to just pay them some money for no reason. Just work for them. It's a dodgy business. You've got to do some research into this. There's a lot of research required. And I suggest looking at the Sovereign Project. These are the best guys. A lot of people talking about this. You can search for YouTube. You've got to do a lot of research, but I suggest go straight to the Sovereign Project. These guys have worked it out. They're explaining how the system works. I've already done an interview with Sovereign Pete. You can watch that interview. Check out their YouTube channel. I've got already a lot of interesting videos explaining how this all works. It's a complicated system of the financial system, the legal system and the political system all work hand in hand. And there's more to it, of course, the church as well, the religious system is all in there. But essentially what I'm saying is the old ways where the religious royal family, the temple, the bank, the law, all one and the same thing, it's still one and the same thing. It's still one and the same thing. It looks like it's separate, it's not. They all work together, and the thing that links them all together is money. Money that joins all these systems together. So we're still under the same power structure. It's just more deceptive now. And we can't say who the people are. Who are the people in power? Don't even know who they are. In the shadows. But this is the way the money works. It's not real, it's a game. And now we've got different banks creating different monies. Different countries having different monies. Different casinos. And you have to change between them. So now what we've got, the financial system, the economy, is a very complicated casino based on credit, based on assets, based on interest, based on exchanging different casino chips. What? They're all meaningless, but you make money exchanging these meaningless things. It's crazy, crazy game. And it works because they have corrupted our soul. They made us all greedy. And if we're not greedy, I want to get rich. I'm going to play the game. Yeah, I'm going to work it all out and beat the system. If you're not greedy, then you're terrified. You're lost in poverty. Oh, I've got to pay my bills. Oh, no, I can't do that. I've got to work. You're terrified. Either way, you're engaged in corruption. That's both bad for your soul. Fear or greed. Very few people are are not paying any attention to this. It's just a game. And it's an evil, evil game. And there's even less people trying to think of a way out. How do you get out of this game? Very difficult. It's been in motion for thousands and thousands of years. You can quite literally think of this as a slave planet. We're all slaves. Slaves to whom? Don't know who, but there's a few people up there. And who are our slave drivers? Our slave drivers is money. Money itself, an abstract concept. We can't, I'm gonna get that money for making me a slave. You can't put your finger on a person now. They can step back. Oh, you wanted the money. It's not our fault. We don't realise you created the money, you created the game, and you tricked us into playing it. You see, it's not really our fault. We've been taught this from birth. We've been indoctrinated into the system. It's a cult, a belief system, a hierarchy. This whole society is a hierarchy, and a hierarchy is a power structure. It's nonsense. Don't need it. Difficult one to get your head around. And again, we can't believe it because now everyone is corrupt. We're all fighting each other for money. Everyone is stealing. We're all getting violent now, crazy. So we need more law and order. We need more, security forces. We have to. No, we don't. The reason we need the security forces is because of the corruption that we've embodied us. But where does the corruption come from? The system. Take the system away, the corruption goes away, you don't need the security forces. Difficult one to wrap your head around. And you can't just do it. It's going to be a slow process to change the system because we've all got to undo our mind, undo the corruption in our mind, undo the fear about poverty, undo the greed for richness, for wealth. We got it now, abundance. Visualize money, rich, rich, rich. It's not abundance, that's greed. Think about it. Even robots, we all want a robot. I can't wait for the robot to do my housework. What? You're lazy. I am too, lazy. I got to learn how to look after myself, we all do. But what we don't realise, if we could look after ourselves, take on the responsibility of our own life, that's hard work. Nobody wants to hear that. But that is what the Sovereign Project are talking about. They talk about the sovereign mentality. I'm going to talk about it as warrior spirit. We need a warrior spirit to live in this world. That means responsibility for your own life. I've got to do the work I've got to do. Don't be trying to offload my work. You know, I want a slave to do it for me. I mean, look, I'm talking philosophically here. Of course, if you're running a good big business, you need people working with you, but you do it nicely. You know, you do it nicely, respectfully. They're not slaves. Everyone is a true independent person working with you, not so much for you. You know, there's a better way of doing this without the corruption. And again, we're still everything we're doing now using fiat currency. This is the most important message I want to get to you. When you're playing with fiat currency, which we all are, we're working for money, fiat currency. We're working for the dollar. That means we are all working for the bank. The bank creates the money. It owns the money. We have to give them back the money that they own. That means we're working for them. We're always working for them. Again, remember, some winners, but for every winner, there's a million losers. You've got to look at the big picture. Just because you're winning, don't mean the system's all right. Again, that's the problem we got. Middle class. Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm not going to rock the boat. Yeah, you're the apologists. The middle class people, I'm included in that. I'm just about okay. We're the apologists. Yeah, I'm not going to do too much. I just try and survive. People like the Sovereign Project, they're helping the poor people. The people at the bottom who are really suffering. When the bank is taking your stuff, they come for your house and it's not your fault. You haven't done anything wrong. It's now you are at the bottom. The bottom rung of the corruption is where you're losing everything. That's not fair. We're making judgment on them. We think, you made bad choices with money. No, you are the victims of a very corrupt system. And the Sovereign Project is trying to help these guys. And the irony is, it's the poor people are the ones that are the victims of this. They're the ones that are going to realise, hang on, this system is broken. We've got to change it. The poor people are going to have to wake up the middle class people, and the middle class people are going to have to get up off the sofa and realise, right, we've got to do something here. This is not fair. The rich people, they don't care less. They're winning in the system. They're the casino winners. And of course, the ones in the system, they work for the casino. The people in the establishment are casino employees. Look at it that way. You don't trust the casino employee. They work for the casino. The house always wins, and the casino employees will always get paid by the casino. Don't look at it that way. Look at it that way. So we've got to think again about money. Do the research. Think about it. I'm going to talk more and more about this. Please do check out the Sovereign Project. Remember, links below. You can find out more there. And stay tuned. I will talk more and more about this. So thank you so much for listening. I hope it made sense. Please leave any questions or comments below. And I look forward to seeing you in any of these other videos here.